What is up, guys? We're back. Today I'm looking at yet another one of the great moments in fighting game history. Last time we took a look at Alex Valle versus Saber from EVO 2009. In case you missed it, the link is up there in the card and down in the description. The response to that video has been so incredibly positive. I'm really humbled. I was not anticipating you guys to be as on board with this idea as much as you are, so I'm so happy about that. I'm going to be doing a ton more of these. Today, in particular, we are looking at a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 match, if you couldn't tell by the intro that's playing here. We're going back to EVO 2006, where there was a money match that took place between Duck Do and Sanford Kelly. So, as usual, we're going to start out talking a little bit about the two players. We're going to analyze the teams they're playing, some of the basic strategies they're going to be going for, and then we're going to run through some of the exciting parts of the match so you guys can experience what happened. So there were a few different elements that sort of contributed to this being a really highly anticipated and hyped match. First of all, there's sort of a regional element to it. Duck Do from California, Sanford Kelly from New York City. The East Coast versus West Coast rivalry in fighting games was really extreme at this point, and everyone in the audience was really heated supporting their preferred player, their preferred region. There's also an element of sort of established versus up and coming to this. Sanford Kelly had not had an EVO win at this point. He also didn't even have an EVO top 8. He was known to be a really good Marvel player, there was no question about that, but Duck Do had won EVO twice, once in 2000 and once in 2005, and in 2001 he got second place. So in terms of results, Duck Do, the much more established player, Sanford Kelly had a little bit more to prove here. There's also the matter of the money. This was a $6,600 match, first to 7. And I mean, it's not exactly like Dota the international money or anything like that, but for 2006, over $6,000 was a ton of money to be riding, especially on a fighting game match. So this was so highly anticipated, everyone was on bated breath, waiting to see what would happen. The hype was absolutely unreal between these two players. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about these two players' teams. In case you're not familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I can kind of explain team building philosophy and some of the strengths and weaknesses of these individual characters. Initially in this match, Sanford Kelly was playing Storm, Sentinel, Cable, but he spends the bulk of the match playing Sentinel, Storm, Captain Commando, which kind of ended up being his signature team. It's even called Team Santhrax, named after his sort of gaming handle. So I'm going to explain how, even though these teams look kind of similar, like they both run Sentinel, they both have an anti-air assist, they're actually extremely different in terms of what their core strategies are and what they're playing around. So Sanford's team, to start things off here, Sentinel and Storm, probably the first and second best characters in the game. Storm is absolutely ridiculous. She builds a ton of meter. Whiffing normals does build meter in this game. So because of her ability to chill at the top of the screen, she can build a ton of meter whiffing normals. She can use that meter on stuff like Hailstorm, which is absolutely one of the best supers in the game. It covers the entire screen. There's no escaping it. And even on block, it does pretty significant damage. Chip is a major factor in this game, which you're going to learn a little bit more about shortly. And another core strategy with Storm involves the Storm Sentinel DHC, so I'll explain that a little bit. Like all fighting games, damage is scaled in combos. The longer a combo goes, the less damage each individual hit is going to do. So something really strong about Sentinel, right, is he's able to loop his super. So you can see, as long as I have meter here, I'm able to keep this combo going, but eventually these individual hits are doing like no damage. They're down to just doing 1 damage apiece. But there's a very important glitch in this game that if you DHC, which stands for delayed hyper combo, which is essentially when you do one character's super and then you tag into another character to do their super. If you DHC and you're able to combo off it, it resets the damage scaling. So you can see this is a really common strategy with Storm Sentinel. You do this combo, and now these are not going to scale nearly as hard as they were before. So it's really easy to set up 100% combos using the Storm Sentinel DHC, and this ended up basically being like a core strategy that some of the absolute best teams in the game were built around. So you can see here, even in the corner, absolutely ridiculous damage. Easy 100% combos come from this. So with Team Santhrax and with most Storm Sentinel teams, this is your primary strategy. Build meter using Sentinel and Storm. Use Captain Commando assist to get people off you. This is an extremely good assist. It does a ton of damage, and it's really nice for if you're playing Sentinel. You know, you're flying around and stuff, you can control the skies using this assist. So essentially, you play neutral like that, you build as much meter as you can, and then whenever you get a hit with Storm, the other guy is most likely losing a character because of the extreme power of the Storm Sentinel DHC. So that's going to be Sanford's primary strategy. Duck's team, on the other hand, is actually pretty interesting. Spiral is considered one of the better characters in the game. She's usually somewhere in the top 10, but she doesn't see that much play due to her difficulty and due to her lack of sort of really abusive options compared to the four gods. Those being Sentinel, Storm, Cable, and Magneto, the four best characters in the game. Spiral's not as good as those guys, and she's hard to play, so Duck is basically the only notable Spiral player. He was really, really gifted at taking this character and using her to her absolute max potential. So this team is also built using a very traditional sort of Marvel 2 team design, where basically the role of each character is the first character builds the meter, they're your battery, the second character spends the meter, and the third character is your assist. So Spiral is actually really amazing at building meter, using her summoned swords. And in fact, here's a clip from Game 5 of this money match where you can see Duck apply this Spiral sword setup way better than I ever could. So you can see he snaps in Captain Commando and starts pressuring with the swords and Sentinel drones. Let's pay attention to the meter here. He just got 1 meter, and he's completely locking Sentinel down. There's no escape for Sentinel here. He's too tall to duck the swords. So he pretty much needs to wait for Duck to screw up and give him like this extremely minor opening so he can get out. Duck has already built like 1.5 meters just based on the swords. So that lockdown and that meter build is absolutely insane. It's so amazing to watch. And then once Spiral has done her job and built you just a ton of meter, then Cable can come in and cash it in. So Cable, like I mentioned, is one of the four gods of the game, the top four, and he has a lot going for him in terms of projectiles. He can really cover the screen with a lot of stuff and lock you down, make it impossible to get in. But what really sets Cable over the top is this move, the Air Hyper Viper Beam. So this is one of his supers, and this is one of the best supers in the game. It's absolutely absurd. Let me run through some of the things that make this so good. First of all, it is a 1-frame move. The very first frame after you do the super is hitting. So once it's coming out, there's not much you can do about it if you're not available and ready to block it. Second of all, he can loop it. So you can see here, it combos into itself, and for as long as you have meter, you can continue to do this. So he can really burn through those meters and trade it in for massive damage. And another thing that makes it really good is guard breaks. So I don't want to get too in the weeds on how exactly guard breaks work in Marvel 2, but here's the general gist. If a character is normal jumping or coming in, this is the important part, coming in after a snapback or another character dies. If you force the character to block something, wait until they're done blocking, and then hit them with something else, they actually cannot block. So even though Storm is holding back, she should be blocking, she literally cannot block the Air Hyper Viper Beam in this situation. And again, if you have multiple meters, you can chain them together. So it's absolutely ridiculous, and this is the #1 reason why Cable is such a good character. So again, the basic strategies for these two players, Sanford is going to be trying to land that Storm Sentinel DHC to one-touch kill Duck's characters. Duck is going to be applying the Spiral Swords, locking down using Sentinel Assist and the Spiral Swords, building as much meter as he can, and then when he's ready, Cable comes in and burns through the enemy team using Air Hyper Viper Beam. So that's going to be the gist. So guys, we're going to be jumping to the match here. I wish I could cover the entire money match, but unfortunately it is a 1-to-7. It's 30 minutes long. It would take me like 3 hours with all the stopping and starting I would want to do. So if you really want to watch the whole thing, the link is going to be down in the description. But here we are covering Game 8, which for most people is considered the most important game of this set. So you can see Duck, like I said, applying the Spiral Swords with the Sentinel Assist, but Storm is much shorter than Sentinel. This is not a total lockdown when you do this versus Storm. She is able to escape, and you have to be really careful because at this point he has the meter and he does the Storm Sentinel DHC. So this unscaled damage, mostly unscaled, that is completely tearing through Spiral, one of the core elements of his team, and now he's getting a happy birthday, hitting both characters. Okay, too much is happening. Too much is happening. Let me back up. Let me back up. Okay, so like I said, the lockdown happening here. But you have to be so careful as Spiral against Storm, because if she gets in once, you can be holding her back with the swords for 30 seconds, and if she gets in once, that can be the end of it. And that's exactly what happens here. The Storm Sentinel DHC, like I talked about. And here comes an incoming. So right now, I just want to talk about the mindset here. Duck losing maybe his most important character, his big battery right at the start, but it's not over by any means, because look at how much meter he has. 4.5 meters, almost at the maximum of 5, which is a huge deal. So yeah, he lost Spiral, but it is definitely not over. Let's keep going. So this was a great mix-up. It looks like he was going to dash under and go for a cross-up, but he backdashed instead. Very smart. Gets the hit with the Storm Assist. And then he even sees that he's hitting Sentinel here. He recognizes the happy birthday, goes into this combo and gets it going. And here, this is also really smart. He knew that he did not have enough meter to kill off of that super, so he goes for a throw reset instead, lands the throw, genius stuff, but here, he drops the combo. And what is happening? Air Hyper Viper Beam, and he's looping them. Happy birthday of his own, both characters in here.
What an answer.
What an answer. And guess what's happening on incoming? Guard break. And there's his best assist dead. Captain Commando is dead. Let's back up. So definitely one of the most iconic fighting game moments of all time, in my opinion, is right here. Look how brilliant Sanford is playing right here. Going for the reset, but all it takes is one drop. He dropped the combo that would have killed Cable and easily wrapped up the match, but he drops it. Goes for the Air Hyper Viper Beam, and already you can see Captain Commando's getting hit. You can watch his life bar go down here. And with 5 meters, you just gotta loop it. Hitting both characters. And so this is going to be another smart play by Sanford here. Even though he is getting beamed to death right now, this is smart. He actually takes this hit. So guard break, if you don't have something really tricky like an air super or something like that, the guard break is essentially inescapable, but sometimes your best bet is to take the hit, which can make the timing a little bit tricky and maybe mess up the Cable player so that they drop the guard break. But Duck does not drop it. He kills Commando, and oh my god, what an answer. What a comeback. And at this point, this round is pretty much over. I'm going to skip most of this. Really, like, Duck just kind of turtles him out. There's not much this solo Storm can do against Sentinel with an anti-air assist. And, I mean, he pretty much just chips him out with the supers. Really not much Sanford can do when you're that far behind. It's going to be really, really hard to make a comeback. So Duck just even up the score 4-4. So at this point, I want to reference an interview that I found online. This is on the SRK forums. This is from a user named Higher Jin, and he actually did a little interview with Duck Vader from 2005, before this match even happened, and there's a quote that I absolutely love here. Duck says, "Remember, this game is all about teams and your game plan. When your team starts to break down and you lose a character here or there, will you be tough enough to come back from it?" And I think with that Cable what an answer moment, he proved that he's tough enough. So absolutely incredible. But it's 4-4, and this is a first to 7. So let's keep going and see some little tidbits of how the rest of these games go. The Hailstorm to beat Spiral out of her swords, pretty great there. You absolutely really need to be scared in this matchup as Spiral. It's so frightening, but the defensive play there is good, and it keeps Storm off him. Prevents himself from being hit by that horrific Storm Sentinel DHC. You do like to see it. Goes for a command throw, so much damage. That takes guts. In this game, it's really hard to land ground throws because it's so aerially oriented. But again, the Storm Lightning Super into the DHC connects. Brutal, but nice block on the cross-up from Duck. And he goes into the Hyper Viper Beam here, so he is going to be looping it. Does he have enough meter to kill? Let's find out. He's got one more. I think that should do it. Are you guys starting to see why Cable is one of the 4 gods? Is that incredible or what? But no meter to go for a guard break on Captain Commando. And right here, we are going to see some of the most amazing Captain Commando play in history, okay? Let me be clear. Captain Commando sucks. The only reason why people run Captain Commando is because his assist is one of the best in the game. But he sucks. He is one of the worst characters in the game if you pretend the assist doesn't exist. Whereas Duck is running an anti-air assist that is Cable. And Cable's obviously an amazing character, but his anti-air assist is not as good as Captain Commando's. So there's a little bit of trade-off in these team constructions. Sanford is running a bad character with an amazing assist and hoping to just win with his first 2 characters, whereas Duck has 3 viable characters, but not as good of an anti-air assist. So we'll hopefully see how this plays out. But I really cannot overstate how bad Captain Commando is as a point character. So when he's coming in like this, you do not want to see that happen. But this wave dash though, he covers the screen so fast. How does Captain Commando get in on Cable? That's how amazing of a player Sanford is. He lands the launcher combo here. Good stuff. But now how's he going to get another hit? Dash up Captain Corridor into Super, and he's hitting both characters, and he can DHC here into Storm. So much damage. So all of a sudden, this was looking like a bad round for Sanford after he ate that Hyper Viper Beam. But because of his Captain Commando play, he's bringing it back. Storm kills Cable, in comes Sentinel, amazing cross-up from Sanford, and another cross-up! He is eating so many Captain Commando assists right here. Captain Commando assists so damaging. Also worth noting that because Sentinel has a big hitbox, he does take more damage and chip from Hailstorm than most characters. So every meter that Storm builds here is potentially a lot of damage that could be going on Sentinel. Very nice, he push blocks to jump out of the Super there, gets the punish, takes out Sentinel. The score is now 5-4. Sanford's lead. Absolutely incredible game. I cannot believe that he won that. It really, really looks like he was going to lose that. And he got in so fast against Spiral. So I feel like I've reiterated a little bit how Spiral versus Storm is not the matchup that Spiral wants to be fighting. She wants to be fighting against Sentinel because he's big, he's clunky, he's going to be forced to watch those swords and block them. But Spiral versus Storm, she is so mobile. He wave dashes up from the bottom of the screen, raw launcher, Spiral, gets the combo there. All of a sudden, Spiral's in the corner. Nice use of the Cable assist there, though. He's trying so hard to set up the swords, but the Hailstorm covers the entire screen and hits him out of it. Absolutely crazy adaptation from Sanford's Storm here. I really, really love this change in his playstyle. Leading with Storm and just pressuring Spiral so much. You can see these Hailstorms are also adding up damage on the assist. Sentinel almost dead just as an assist, but Duck has brought in Cable, and he is looping supers on Sentinel assists. Both Sentinel assists are really bleeding here. Oh, I can barely breathe, man. This is so intense. So he goes for the Hyper Viper Beam on Commando assist, and it works, but he's out of meter. Because Spiral took so much damage, he was not able to build the meter that he needed to really maximize Cable. So here's going to be the Storm Sentinel DHC. We've seen it. America's favorite DHC, as it's also called, uses the Commando assist to add just a little more chunk of damage. Goes for a guard break on Spiral, but the push block prevents it. But now Spiral's dead. In comes Sentinel, losing all that red life. How are you going to come back from this? It's not going to be possible. I wish I could say that he can make this comeback, but I don't think it's going to be possible, guys. Sentinel stomp, 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 so strong. Originally, Sentinel was considered a projectile zoning character, but once people really started maximizing his flying, he became a really potent rushdown character as well. He can really do it all. So, again, Sanford here, it was 4-4 after the What an Answer round. After the legendary Game 8, it was 4-4. Then Sanford won 2 quick ones in a row. Sanford is at match point here, 6-4, because this is the first to 7. Let's see if Duck can stay alive here. Again, I want to reiterate, Duck an EVO champion. Sanford, not even an EVO top 8 under his belt at this point. This damage and reset. Can we look at that? Spiral died instantly. Spiral died so fast. Look at how few seconds have passed on the clock. I know it's kind of hard to tell because of the quality, but so here you can see Captain Commando assist has so much invincibility that Cable just goes completely through him, and using the block stun from the Commando assist, he's able to apply pressure here. I like the idea of the snapback from Duck Spiral. Snapbacks are extremely fast in the game. I think depending on character, some of them are 1-frame attacks. So he uses it kind of as an attempted reversal, maybe trying to get a double snap. If you snap out a point and an assist, sometimes you can get an infinite on the assist. But I digress here. Storm gets in, gets the hit, goes for a reset, jabs him, goes for the throw reset, uses Sentinel drones to combo off the throw. Absolutely incredible play from Sanford Storm here. And once again, you can see Commando assist just outdoes Cable assist. Commando is a whack character, but his assist is insanely good. So even though Cable is a ridiculously good character, the invincibility on his assist is not where it needs to be to out-prioritize Captain Commando. So again, he does land a snapback with Spiral. Like I said, very fast move, goes for the double snap, didn't get it, but in comes Commando. Like I said, you do not want Commando to be in fighting, you want him to be in the back where he can do his assists. So scary situation for Sanford to be sure. So he DHCs Commando out, brings in Sentinel, and now the team order is restored. He's got Sentinel, Storm, Commando in the back. That's exactly where you want to be. But this Cable play from Duck is insane. He loops 2 supers, but not enough meter to kill. Again, I think the big difference maker for Sanford here, the big adaptation, was starting Storm and pressuring Spiral so much at the beginning, because if he cuts off the meter build from Duck, it's going to be so hard to make those Cable comebacks. So that's exactly what happened. Not enough meter to kill Sentinel, and then he does a guard cancel to save Sentinel from dying to chip, uses that amazing Commando invincibility to get in. Storm, Hailstorm barely saves her from the Sentinel drones. Whew, this is so intense, guys. Marvel is so amazing. Okay, so we get the Storm combo. Doesn't need to DHC because it did enough damage. Whew, and he hits Spiral on incoming into another Hailstorm. It's looking like this could be it for Duck Do. Going in, trying to land the Storm Infinite on Sentinel. Because Sentinel is so tall, there are a lot of infinites that work on him that don't work on other characters, so that's exactly what Sanford is going for here. Pressuring with jabs, using the drone's assist to get in. Again, with no assists, it's really hard to make comebacks in this game. Especially when Storm is locked and loaded with a bunch of meter to spend on Hailstorm. Sentinel flying around trying to get in, but 2 assists versus no assists is just going to be really hard. Applying pressure, tries to land the Storm super there, but it got a little bit weird with the timing and the spacing there. Lands a Hailstorm. Like I said, Sentinel takes extra damage from Hailstorms, and there he gets in, hits him with the jump Fearsome to jump roundhouse. Oh my god. And let's see the reaction from the crowd when this happens. Duck Do has gotten shirtless midway through this set. Sanford so excited. The crowd, well, at least the East Coast supporting crowd, going absolutely nuts. Oh my god, what an incredible match, man. I really highly recommend watching the whole thing. Like I said, the link is going to be down in the description. Amazing result for Sanford Kelly. So an absolutely ridiculous and amazing play from both players. I want to reiterate something that I read in that same interview with Duck Do. He said, the most common mistake I see new blood make is they crack under pressure. When they play someone and lose a game, most of the guys just lose it and end up losing the match because their focus goes down the drain. Sanford Kelly proved his focus would not go down the drain when he lost that ridiculous comeback. Can we just watch that comeback one more time? I could honestly watch this clip forever. This never gets old, man. The fortitude of Duck Do. I mean, he doesn't end up winning the entire money match, but this is so incredible. Seeing the drop, getting the Hyper Viper beam, executing perfectly to kill Sentinel. What an answer. Oh. I also love sort of the passing of the torch aspect. You know, two-time world champion Duck Do lost to Sanford, and wouldn't you know, Sanford did end up winning Evo in 2009. He won Marvel 2 and Evo, so great for him. And he's gone on to be, you know, one of the greatest fighting game players of all time. Not just in Marvel, but in other games as well, like Street Fighter. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this match. I know this is one of my all-time favorites. Again, the links to everything that I referenced and showed in this video will be down in the description, so make sure you click on those. And let me know how you liked it. Like I said, I definitely want to do more of these match analysis, great moments in fighting game history videos in the future. So let me know if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a great holiday season, and be safe out there. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.